So it saved us, because for a while there, he was keeping me up so much at night. I would sit there looking at him thinking, how much is it worth it to like smother him to death? Like I can't, like, should I put a pillow on his head? And then I still do the pillow barrier. Like, if it's really bad, like if he's been out and we're like extra tired, I'll put I don't know what I think the pillow barrier at 2 a.m. is going to do, but I put up a pillow barrier, and the next morning he'll be like, Lynn, I'm so sorry. I see the pillow barrier at the pillow wall.
I do that too. I don't know why I think putting a pillow between us is going to do anything, but I do the same thing.
Welcome to Three Little Fishes. We're three sisters who grew up in the Midwest together, but have since spread across the country. I live in Los Angeles.
I'm in Nashville.
And I live in Philadelphia. We are all married with children. We've all had careers, but now we stay at home with our families.
We've all been through ups and downs that come along with life and have always helped each other through, shared stories, and laughed together.
We welcome all of you into our daily conversations and hope you have some fun with us.
So let's jump in.
What's up, fishes? How is everybody today?
Good.
Doing well.
So for all of our listeners, I just want to give a friendly reminder to please rate, review us, subscribe to our YouTube channel or Apple or wherever you're getting your pods. If you have any ideas of topics you want to talk about or advice you want, tell your friends, invite more fishes to join the conversation. All right, y'all, let's jump in.
Yeah.
So is everybody recovered from the long weekend?
No, I've had rolling company, or I've been out of town for like the last 3 weeks. So I had a great long weekend. We had company again. They left yesterday, and now we're rolling into getting D1 out the door to study abroad. So we're packing. We're trying to cram all the things in. We cooked a bunch yesterday just to kind of like do final things. So it's been a little hectic. So I would say recovery is not happening until everybody gets out the door tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's a lot. What about you, Kathy? How was your guys' long weekend with Labor Day?
I kind of been busy over the last 2 weeks as well. I've been traveling. Well, I went to see you for your birthday, and then I came home and I ended up going on a college trip with my middle son, just looking at colleges. And I just feel like a little bit tired. And when I came home, the house is all torn up because our puppy that we have, that's now, I guess she's like 5.5 months.
Yes. What did that angelic puppy do? Did she do something naughty?
I always laughed when I heard like kids, saying like, the dog ate my homework. And I mean, this dog eats everything. I mean, if it's a piece of paper, if it's a paper towel, if it's anything, she grabs it. But
did she eat your homework?
Well, we did have a piece of paper that was important to us, and she almost got it. And that's what made me think of that, because I was like, oh my gosh, you are a nightmare. But she chewed in our kitchen. We have it kind of fenced off, so she has to roam the kitchen while she's been potty training and everything. But she decided to chew the corner of our drywall.
Oh, no.
I have no idea why she started doing that. And my husband
your wall.
Yeah, she ate the wall. And not just like a little piece. Like she gnawed at that thing. And I just was like, how is it this dog was able to do this without anyone noticing?
I mean, that's a valid question. And also, was it like laced with like bacon grease? Like, I wonder what the appeal was. This looks tasty.
I don't know. I don't know if like she was just out of sorts because I've been gone. Maybe she wasn't getting enough attention. I don't know. But this puppy has been like something, I have to say. I don't remember our other dog doing anything like this.
That's how I am with that. With when we got our new cat, I was like, my old cat Rex would never do that. I mean, do you think that's really true, or do you think we put on these blinders, like we just forget, like in infant stage with kids, we just totally forget,
They're all
like
Well,
different.
I think
yeah.
Peter has told me that I have forgotten what it was like to have a puppy. He says he remembers our other dog being very feisty, but yeah, she is a handful, that's for sure. So we've had
How did you have to get the wall fixed? Did you call a painter? Like, what do you do about that?
I actually kind of know how to fix drywall and paint a little bit.
Oh,
Like
well,
I
look
wouldn't
at
say
you.
I'm a painter. Like I wouldn't want to tackle probably a whole room, but I can fix like dings and scratches and things like that. And I
Mhm.
think Peter did some painting when he was like in college and high school, like a little bit for side jobs.
Well,
So
if you guys hire out, I could use some help over
he's a
here.
little handy sometimes. So
Uh,
we both kind of tackled it together because we also had to fix the bench as well, where we have a bench in our drop area that she gnawed on as well. So, because we're having company tomorrow, and I'm like, we can't,
You're
our house
buttoning it
looks
up
like, you know,
a
you
pallet.
don't want a hole in your kitchen wall? What?
Yeah.
Well, we had a busy weekend, and part of it was with soccer. And we are having the biggest heat wave out here. And I have decided I'm getting worse with how I feel about the heat. I feel like I'm on the sun. And I took Riley to his soccer game, which I normally love to watch Riley play soccer. But it was I just went, Tim sat this one out. I'm like, fine, I'll go. It's totally fine. And I'm literally watching this kid play soccer. Like I felt like I was on the sun, sweat streaming down my back, my face. I was like, this is my, can I
Too
say this? My
friend.
HELL. And I cannot even, I don't even know what to do with myself. Tim says that when I got home, I was very cranky and that I needed to figure out how to manage the heat and sports. But I tell you what, it was a boo for me. It was a boo for me.
oh, that's too
I know.
bad.
It's been really hot here too. It's terrible. We're kind of ready for fall.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing fall anyway soon. I'm going to pull out
Nobody loves fall like you, which is another podcast with all your fall gnomes. And I mean, I never knew you liked so many gnomes.
pumpkins.
Oh my gosh, so funny. But it kind of got me thinking, or it kind of got us thinking. I feel like since we've started back with school, I am tired. And is it the heat? Is it the routine? Is it me like getting older? Like, what is it?
I got to tell you, I can't remember a time when I was not exhausted. Like even going on holiday, I am exhausted all the time. I think it started when I started having kids, and it's never gotten better. Maybe I've had some like little glimmers of like not being exhausted in the middle there with the kids were like independent and whatever. But now, I mean, even with the big kids, it's like we're up late,
Yeah. I feel like I'm more,
going on
well,
in our house.
I feel the same. You know, when the kids were newborns, I mean, obviously that was endless nights, right, of no sleep.
But that's to be expected, right? And you're holding a baby, so it's like you
Yeah,
don't care,
it's worth it.
Yeah.
right? And it's totally fine. And it's not
Short-lived.
forever. It's
Right.
short-lived. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a running issue with our house is I feel like sleep is very important. Your brain functions better. It's part of your health. It helps you. You need a brain break, right? And
Mhm.
so we have a 15-year-old and he is busy with school during the week, busy with sports. We know teenagers want to stay up late, but then we also have to get up early for school. So and like all the electronics are this other layer. So
Mhm.
we really struggle with like Riley wants autonomy of being like, I manage my body, I manage my sleep. I don't need to worry. You don't need to worry about me. But my thing is, and I'm trying to do this because I think we as adults need it too, is when you're done with homework, and it's hit the 10 o'clock mark. I like all electronics to be off and to give your brain a break and like kind of start to wind down. And you don't necessarily have to go to bed. You can read a book, but I feel like you need to shut your brain off and let it kind of rest and have a break so you can get some good rest, some good solid REM sleep. But he really is pushing back. Is like, I think you are crazy and I am 15 years old and this is BS. So I don't know if I and Tim are the norm or not the norm, but I do worry that sleep, I think, is so important of our health, as we're just talking about. I'm super tired and I'm crabby when I'm tired, not on purpose. It just happens, right? So
Yeah.
where do you all stand in this area?
Well, it's funny you say the electronics because I'm kind of guilty myself of picking up my iPad a lot in the evening, which I don't think I ever used to do, 10 years ago, but I just find myself, it's kind of getting to be like a habit and I need to just close it. But like our physician with the kids always, when we have their checkups say, you should not have electronics at nighttime. You should just put them away. But it is hard to do. And
Yeah.
I've told all my kids that. They've heard it, from a lot of different sources. And I don't know if I don't think they heed by it very much because, to be honest, like at school, they use their laptops and they're like, now school has started. I mean, they're constantly doing homework now. So, and they have to use their laptop. So I don't know how you can completely avoid it, I guess.
I don't have a hard and fast rule. I mean, I have two that are out of the house, so I have no idea what they're doing. The other one has hockey practice. He doesn't get home till 10:30 at night on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, oftentimes we're out of town at tournaments, so we're up late and we're up early and there's naps involved. But the electronic thing, I just feel like at this point in our life, everybody kind of has to manage themselves. I don't think it's good for you to look at before bed, but I'm guilty of it too. Like I'll set my alarm and then I'll look at Facebook or I'll look at Instagram or I'll check my email. And then I'm trying to go to sleep after that, or I'm reading a book, or I'm doing online shopping, which is like my favorite thing. So I think we all are. I mean, I know my family is very guilty of doing the electronics, and I don't have a rule about it. Back in the day, I tried to have the phones be downstairs, but then they needed them for school because they're doing homework at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Right.
We wouldn't get home from dance or hockey or lacrosse or whatever until later. So I do think just like as a society, we're probably disrupting our sleep schedule. Like we're disrupting our sleep routine a little bit. I don't know what the answer is.
So it may be more of a struggle for our kids because of their schedule
I
and their
think for me
homework
it is,
for
yeah.
sure is hard.
It is.
But my point is, I've tried when he's done with his homework to try to be done. But then how do you guys manage your sleep? Like, so then you go to your room. Like, is it peaceful and zen in there when you shut your door? Like, is your husband a snorer or not snorer? Like, do you snore? And is he like, stop making noise? Like, what happens in your bedroom at night? Like, is it peaceful?
Yeah. So let me just tell you, back in the day, I know for a fact my husband did not snore because like, I don't love it. And then about 10 years ago, I was like I walk around like a zombie kind of like all the time. And I think that was probably maybe 10 years ago. Maybe it was longer. I don't even remember now. But I was super crabby. I was visiting mom or I was talking to mom. And she and dad do this thing where they have like this like amazing advice, but they'll say something like, I have an answer for you. Do you want me to share it with you? You know? And I'm like, yeah, I want to hear your answer, Mom. Spill it. She's like, earplugs. You need earplugs. You need the silicone earplugs, not the foam earplugs. You need earplugs. It takes a little while to get used to, but try it. And I was like, okay, I'm happy to do anything because I was like walking in a fog at all times. And so I did. I tried these earplugs, and she told me what brand to get, which is Max. I've tried all of them. Max are the best. She's right. And it takes a little time to get used to. But now, even if I'm not with him, like when I was out of town at your house, I still wore them because I'm so used to like trying to drown out the outside sounds. So it saved us. Because for a while there, he was keeping me up so much at night. I would sit there looking at him, thinking, how much is it worth it to like smother him to death? Like I cannot handle.
Well,
Like, should I put a pillow on his head? And then I still do the pillow barrier. Like, if it's really bad, like if he's been out and we're like extra tired, I'll put I don't know what I think the pillow barrier at 2 a.m. is going to do, but I put up a pillow barrier, and the next morning he'll be like, Lynn, I'm so sorry. I see the pillow barrier, the pillow wall.
I do that too. I don't know why I think putting a pillow between us is going to do anything, but I do the same thing.
Well, maybe you think if they're going to roll over, they're going to feel it, and they're going to be like, oh, it's like an arm. So it's like it jostles them or something. I don't know. I have the story with Tim. Like, he has been a snorer. Sorry, Tim, you are. And he would be very loud. I don't like earplugs. Mom said that too, but I just could never relax with them, putting them in my ear. So it was not a good solution for me. And one night, several years ago, I woke up and I heard nothing. Tim was not making any noise. And I was like,
oh, no.
I was like, sweet Jesus, like, what is going on? Like, there's nothing. So I laid there for a beat, and I was like, oh my God, he's making no noise at all. So then I'm trying to decide, is his chest going up or down?
Right. Is he dead?
I can't tell. I can't tell over the covers because he likes to be in a cocoon.
No, he's not dead.
And so I was like, I have to figure out if he's okay. So I kind of get as close as I can to him. And at some point, I'm kind of on top of him, trying to get super close to his face. And then he wakes up.
You probably scared him to death.
I did. He screams. I scream. I'm like, oh, thank goodness you're okay. And he was like, what is the matter with you? And I'm like, something's wrong. You have to go to the doctor because I can't live like this to think that you're dead. So he did go to the doctor, and he has sleep apnea. So now he has to wear this contraption on his face, like to help him breathe. But I don't care because I know that he's like breathing in the middle of the night.
Well, I actually had that experience too, where I kind of felt like he was not breathing for like a few seconds or whatever. And I obsessed over it because that's what I do. I worry and obsess over it. And so I made him go do a sleep test.
Yeah.
And he passed it, like by the hair of his chinny chin chin. He does not have sleep apnea.
I have never heard of anybody passing those. My mother-in-law swears nobody does.
But annoyingly, because I had him do the sleep test, we now have to pay more for our life insurance just because he had the test. Like,
what?
He doesn't have sleep apnea. He passed the test, but yet our rates increased.
Oh,
I was Rich was not impressed with me. He was like,
insurance
don't
is
even
the
have
worst.
We have more money that has to go out the door. And I'm like, I know, it's ridiculous.
Insurance is a racket. It's just a racket. You need them, but they don't ever want to like do the right thing. It's annoying.
I'm very grateful he doesn't have it. I think and it's amazing when you have those CPAPs, and it does really help. And of course, it's super dangerous. But I was like, what the heck is going on here?
I will confess that Tim did say to me that he goes, Nancy, just so you know, you also snore. And I'm like, no, I don't, very confidently. Of course I do not snore. And he one time recorded me. Do you know when he recorded me to prove to me that I snored? When I was like 8 months pregnant with Riley, and I was as big as a house. And he's like, see, you snore.
Yeah.
Kathy, I don't think that you snore, but I do think when we lived together back in the day, you do like a poo bear. You go poo, 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 like a poo sound. Like, I wonder, do you still do poo in your sleep?
well, I actually talked with Peter about this because I knew we were going to talk about sleep. And I asked him, I'm like, do I snore ever? He's like, no, but you do like purr or poo or whatever you want to call it. And sometimes he says that I talk. I'll like chat in my sleep. But I feel like purring is, that's soothing.
I mean, that's hilarious. You're like, purring is okay, snoring is not.
Yeah, snoring
apparently is very relaxing.
Yeah, everybody should do it. Yeah.
Well, Peter snores terribly. And I always thought, I honestly didn't think he had like a sleep problem. Like I didn't think he was not breathing. I literally didn't think he was not breathing. I just thought it was because, as we age, your throat gets looser.
Like everything else. Everything else gets looser and like moving around. Now my throat's doing it. Amazing.
But you gain a few pounds. I just thought it was like, life.
Speak for yourself.
Older. But he actually went and had a test done because it got really bad. And he said he just wasn't feeling good. Like he'd wake up and he's like, I felt like I didn't even rest. I'm like, okay, then why don't you go get like checked out? It turns out he does have sleep apnea and he is like on the chart of like mild to extreme. He's extreme. And I was like, what? He like stopped breathing like many times throughout a minute. I was like, are you serious?
Well, thank goodness you went in.
I feel kind of bad that I was always like, you don't have sleep apnea. But now he wears the, Darth Vader sleep apnea machine, which I call it.
It's super hot, isn't it? But it's like it's better than them not breathing in the middle of the night, and I think they do sleep better. But it's so funny. It's like here come the tubes. Like
he is so not attractive. And there are times I look over and I'm like, what is going on? Like I still sometimes I'm like, I think maybe that's why I put the pillow barrier. I can't see him.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Do you know, Cameron Diaz, did you guys see this? Just recently made the news not too long ago. And she's advocating that everybody gets their own bedroom. Like, so you and your spouse have separate bedrooms and then you just come together whenever you want. But that way you don't have any of these issues and you would be so much happier, she swears to everybody, if they just could have their own bedroom. What is your
I don't
take
know.
on that?
I feel like that's a slippery slope because I feel like Peter and I, just with his work, sometimes he sleeps in a different bedroom because if he works really late at night. And I feel like disconnected from him sometimes when he has to do that, like, several days in a row. Because it's like he'll work all day and then he'll go in that room and I don't ever see him. And then I'm like, oh, what's going on here?
I kind of feel
there's sometimes like it's nice for like maybe a day or two, but then I don't know. I think if it goes on for a long time, I'm not sure. Like I think it's a personal thing, but I don't think for me.
I actually have a couple of friends here in Nashville who do this. They have like separate wings of their house. And then they just get together whenever they want and they love it. I mean, they think it is like saving their marriage. They think it's amazing. I kind of feel the same way though, Kathy. I don't want Rich to be someplace else because I don't see him that much anyway. He travels a lot for work. We're doing like side by side stuff a lot during the day, but I wouldn't at night. It's kind of the time I get to talk to him. We're not distracted by other things. And if he was in another room, what would I be doing? Texting him? I don't know. I just feel like I would be.
Hey, how was your day?
I'm interested to see if Tim would like, I don't know. I don't think he minds sleeping with me, but I also am a little bit of a cuddler and I seem to always gravitate like the running joke. It doesn't matter how big the bed is, but I'm like right there. So it's like I'm constantly like next to him. So he probably feels like he's crowded all the time. So I would be interested to be like, I'm like, no, I don't want a separate bedroom because I like to be able to touch him, and just like know that he's there, which I don't know why. I don't know if he feels like he needs to be touching me in the middle of the night. I think, that's my own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My husband is a cuddler. I am not a cuddler. So I king size bed, and I like to sleep on my own side. He tries to gravitate, but I kick him. I'm like, you're too hot. He's like a furnace, but I want him there. I just don't want him touching me when I'm sleeping.
I think Cameron Diaz even goes a step further, if I'm remembering it right. And she even says that she even wouldn't mind separate houses. Like
Yeah.
you can be partners and have your own individual space, which is,
Like
it's an interesting concept. But I feel like as a partnership for me, I don't want separate spaces because that's a lot to manage. So if it's your house and this is my house, I mean, what a luxury that would be. That's also a luxury to be like, this is my house. This is your house. See you at the end of the week.
And who visits whom?
Yes.
And
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love that idea, but I do understand. You do get to a certain time in your life where sleep is such an important thing, and we're also sleep deprived, and the routine is hard when you're busy and you're out of town and you're back in town and you're working and you're stressed and you have all these like balls in the air. And there's all these studies about how vital it is to have like good quality sleep, and your routine is so important. And I think in our age group and from now on, it's like 7 to 8 hours every single night of quality sleep you're supposed to get. And you can catch up a little bit, but if you go for years without getting quality sleep, then it's detrimental to your mitochondria. It's not like replicating or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is just like added to the pile of crap we're supposed to do, like eat whole foods and get enough exercise and get your sleep.
Do you know, I was listening to,
I don't know. I've sort of like thrown in the towel on a certain level and just been like, I'm doing the best I can. And I can't add one more thing to my plate. And if you make me take away my electronics before I go to bed, which is like my quiet time and no one's asking me anything of me, then I'm going to snap. I want to be able to search my social media before I go to
nobody wants to snap.
We don't.
I did it. I listened to Goldie Hawn. She like is really into like mindfulness and especially with young kids and teenagers.
Because she looks amazing.
She does look amazing. And she said a mindfulness trick is to just take time in the day to just make yourself smile. She's like, if you make yourself smile, you make your brain remember to smile. And smiling is also contagious. So like take some time during the day and smile. And I did that yesterday because I was feeling, I don't know, frustrated with something. I'm like, I just smiled and I'm just going to channel Goldie Hawn and like do some like mindfulness, just smile. And like, if somebody's bothering me on the road, just turn to them and smile instead of being like, why are you tailgating me? Right?
No joke.
Well, I feel like for me, sleep is definitely like if I don't get enough sleep, I am so crabby. Like I can handle maybe I can handle like a day or two of it, but if it continues like a few nights in a row of not getting good sleep, then I get really crabby. So I think you just have to figure out what works for you. Like, you know how you were talking about, Mom said the silicone earplugs?
Yeah.
I do not like those because they stick in my hair. And then I pull the wad out and then I have hair attached to it.
Yeah.
And I already have fine hair anyway, and I don't need to lose more hair.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So I use the foams for me, even though Peter's snoring is better with the CPAP. That CPAP still makes noise. So I just do that. And I also use like a sleep machine, which is good.
Kathy, I have been a roommate with you, like when we meet each other on trips, and I am aware of all your noise. You have like an airplane noise machine going. You're like earplugs going in. I mean, you have a whole system, but I feel like if it works for you and you're able to, and your mask that says, shh, sleeping. Yes.
Well, I think, before he got that CPAP, he used to snore so bad. I was trying to block out anything I could, try everything just to like be able to get some rest. So that's what I found works for me. And now I think I've just been doing it for so many years that I need it now. Like I tried to like not have anything and it just is like I lay there going, it's too quiet, So I don't know.
It's
I
hard.
think whatever tricks work for you to help you relax better. I like to sit in a hot tub before bed. It helps like just relax all my muscles or take a hot shower. So
Mhm.
whatever you can do to like quiet your mind, I think is a good
Yeah.
thing for
Mhm.
teens, for kids, for adults, for
Mhm.
everybody, because across the board it's important.
You know, things I do are I usually try and like relax my shoulders because I get like really, I hold a lot of stress in my shoulders. So I just try and
Mhm.
relax all my muscles. And then I count backwards from 100 if I'm like really having a hard time. And that actually seems to work. But I did look up from the National Institute of Health just some what they said are some good night sleep tips. So I was just going to tell you about them, just saying we should all stick to a sleep schedule because it's important. Like, you wake up at the same time, go to bed the same time. And they say even on the weekends, you should kind of stick to a schedule and get your
Mhm.
body in rhythm. Exercise, which is super important for everybody, not just for sleep, but for your health. Um, Getting outside and getting sunlight, avoid caffeine, nicotine. I mean, a lot of people are very sensitive, and I actually am sensitive to caffeine too. I don't know if you girls are as
I
well,
would
but
say like giving up my coffee is a no starter for me. That
but
bad?
you drink
But not
coffee
in
at
the
night.
afternoon.
No, I don't drink it at night. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after
Um,
3 or
they
4 or
say you shouldn't take long naps, which I do like a nap every now and then if I can sneak one in. But I do think that that does affect you if you take a long nap.
I think they
Um,
say the optimal is like what, 20 minutes or something like that.
yeah, I think so. They say
Mhm.
avoid alcohol and large meals. So
Mhm.
I don't know about, you know, avoiding alcohol every night, but I don't think that affects me sleeping, but maybe.
I refuse to believe it does.
And then, like they said, limit electronics, like we talked about earlier. Electronic thing is coming back. And then just have a good environment. Like you want it to be zen, like Nancy was saying. Like try and make your living area nice and peaceful. Um, and then if you're still having problems, maybe you do need to see your healthcare provider, they say. But hopefully you can get a good night's rest because everybody needs it.
Yeah. I love climbing into my bed at night. We have a very nice mattress. I would say if anybody, you know, wants to spend money on their house, buy a good mattress. And we have a Nest in our bedroom, and it's during the day it's at 72, but about an hour before, like about 9 p.m., we have it set and it automatically turns the air on to 67. So our
Makes it
bedroom
nice and cool.
very cool at night. And we also have room darkening shades. So I feel like that combination is sort of a sweet spot. It's not, perfect. We don't sleep totally soundly every single night, but I think just setting that environment really does help us
Yeah.
sort of, at least start off the process, on a good foot. So those tips too.
Yeah. I also try and tell Peter, like, I don't want to talk about work, like, when he
Yes,
comes up
that's a
at 10
no-no.
o'clock. Like, can
The
we just
to-do
save
list
it
is
for
no, no.
like another day?
Yeah.
Because once we start talking about stuff like that, that just forget it. I'm awake.
Or
Right.
finances. I don't want to
Or
talk about
finances.
finances either.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to try and do the to-do list with my husband before we go to bed, and he'll look at me like, stop talking.
Yeah, that sounds real relaxing. Hey, Rich, I have this. Da 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 da.
What do you think about what?
Yeah.
He'll be like, no, 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 no. I know. I'm like, I know it's a bad habit, but it's like, I finally have a captive audience and I want to talk. He's like, can we talk about anything but your to-do list? Yes. Yes, we can.
Right.
Yeah. A good, solid, peaceful environment is essential for a quality night's sleep. I agree. Good tips.
All right. Well, these tips are be posted in the podcast notes, so you can read about it in the National Institute of Health.
Let me ask you girls this. What is bringing you joy, or what are you looking forward to?
Well, my confession about that would be, and it sounds bad, so don't come at me, but I have been so busy with people. Tomorrow, my son and my oldest are leaving for overseas for study abroad. He's going to go with her and get her all settled in and squared away. So it'll just be, our son, the 2 dogs, the cat, and the house. And
Oh, so you mean your husband is going overseas with your oldest? Yes.
And our other daughter's already at school. So the house is going to be really quiet. I mean, there's still busyness, because we have 2 dogs and a cat and a son still here, but like no one's going to be in from out of town, and it's going to be much more quiet. And I'm actually really looking forward to, I'm going to whisper because he's still here. But I'm kind of looking forward to like having the house quiet. Now I have some activities going on, and I'll tell you about my fun, but yeah, I'm kind of looking for a quiet house. That's going to be good.
Honey, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm going to really enjoy missing you. Kisses.
I can't wait to see you.
What about you, Kathy? Anything bringing you joy or something that you're looking forward to?
Yes, we are headed to Fort Worth, Texas next week to see my oldest.
Fun.
For Parents' Weekend. So I'm really excited to go down there.
Yeah, super fun. Well, I'll tell you what kind of brought me a little smile to my face yesterday, which is just a little thing, but I had to go run some errands before I was picking somebody up from school. But I knew that the last time I drove my car, I was like on fumes. And so I'm like, okay, I got to get going because I have to get gas before I can do anything else. I get in my car and it's filled up. And it like that rarely happens. And I was like, this is like bringing me flowers. It was like amazing. So I was that made me smile. So thank you, Tim, for filling out my car.
I know. I got to say, that's not like my favorite thing to do either.
My husband washed my car yesterday, which was very nice.
Nice.
Aww, that's sweet.
All right, girls, what's for dinner?
We're going to put a link at the end in the show notes for everybody for like a turkey sweet potato chili that I'm going to make. And it's sort of appropriate because I'm going to read what it says. So turkey has tryptophan that is a good thing for sleep. And sweet potatoes are rich in vitamin C, magnesium, and potassium, which also helps with restorative sleep. So this recipe is not only low fat, high protein, high fiber, but it also potentially could help you with your restful, restorative sleep. So,
all right, we all need to give it a little bit of a try. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, we want to thank you for listening to our podcast and letting us sisters jump into your day. Please make sure to follow, rate, and review us. We want your feedback. We hope you all have a lovely weekend. Sisters out.